Hello and welcome to the Huddle. Liam Santamaria with you, and preseason coaches series almost over. Just two big names to tick off. Dean Vickerman coming up soon. Today, CJ Bruton of the Adelaide 36ers, a legend of the league, and a lot of excitement around his 36ers this season. So sit back, relax. Up next, CJ Bruton. Coach, what's happening, mate?
You're always happening, Liam. The way that you make the NBL shake and tick, it's awesome. Excited to be on the podcast and looking forward to our conversation ahead.
Appreciate you. Thanks for the kind words and thanks for coming on. And I tell you, what a beautiful setup. Last year you're in the car, and this is like a post-game press conference. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Like mic'd up. Got the presser, in the backdrop. Definitely upgraded, right?
You sure have. I feel like I should open with Coach. Give us your thoughts on the game.
Well, what happened was we had put in a few more plays and a few more people and staff and players that can come and compete, get down and break it down. Now it's all good.
Beautiful. How's the family, man? It's been basketball finals all over the country over the last little bit. How's everyone going?
It's been good. I think the travel in and out. I think the FIBA window, having players play in the FIBA window, traveling, across the globe, from Mitch to Sunday Dangakuth, Kai Soto, having imports flying in. Coaches, I got Jamie Pellman, who's assistant coach for Australia. My manager was with the Australian team. So, I had a lot of moving pieces coming in and out over the last month or so. Nick Marshall playing in the finals for Mount Gambier and the way that he played all season. It's, it's been very busy all the way around, but no different from most teams. But definitely exciting time for basketball and for the NBL moving forward.
You're always on the move. You're only ever in one spot for a short little time, and you just got back from WA. Spent the weekend in Western Australia playing against the Wildcats. What did you feel like you got out of those couple of hit outs?
I think first just playing together. Like we ain't, when you've got 6 guys at practice, it's not a whole lot that you can implement and put in. And you're doing a lot of teaching with guys that are new to your group. With the guys coming back, it's getting them up to speed. Like they ain't been in the building but a handful of days. And what do you want to get some staple points, and what are we about, and what do you want to see to get done? Like win or lose right now, there's not that type of party right now. It's competing and playing hard, and you're wearing a jersey, you wear it the right way, play for each other, play together, all the simple things and the things that most teams say.
Those kind of things about what you want to be, what you want to get done this season. A lot of that, I imagine, came out of the review of last season to say, here's what we did well, but here's what we want to do that we maybe didn't tick the box of this season. When you and Jamie, Grant, when you all sat down and reviewed last season, what did you come away with?
There was a lot of things that didn't go the way that you thought it would go. But it's making sure that you need to have depth in this competition. If you don't have depth, you're going to struggle, because from COVID to injuries, when you're missing a major piece of your puzzle, that next guy stepping up it was a drop off. When I say a drop off, like I believe in everyone on my roster. I didn't sign them all, but I believed in everyone on this team, and I thought that we would compete and be in a top, in that position to be hovering for a top 4 spot. But some of those injuries and the way that we played didn't allow for us to get to that spot. So first you need depth, then it's breaking down to the level of players that you need. What position? I think we had a few guys that played the same position, and while I was playing them out of position, it was trying to make it work best out of a situation and utilize everyone's talent and let them play to their skill set as well. So recruiting wise, you got to recruit the right people that can fill those holes and have attributes that will help your team be successful.
We did that big time over the offseason. You recruited your ass off when free agency hit, and you just made a massive splash. Bang, bang, Cleveland and Franks. And I've been talking about how you, as a club, the 36ers, the import signings, I haven't all hit the mark, and it's very hard to always hit the mark with these kind of signings, but there are a few years in a row where they maybe didn't land. And it looked to me like you guys went in with a mentality of let's get a couple of guys who have proven they can do it in the NBL, that their game transfers and they get it done. Was that the mentality? And were those two guys the top targets on your list?
Definitely. I think yes, they were the top targets on my list, and knowing that they have experience in our competition, they have international experience, and they're both good guys, right? One was first team all defense, one was first team all NBL. So they've already got runs on the board. And while not both teams were successful at their highest level, but I think that they all brought great energy to their team. They were confident in their own skill set and able to showcase that every single night that they touched the floor, and they represented their clubs the right way. I think, and bringing them in here and where we sit of not making the playoffs and having someone with that experience that can help us in those spaces that we also needed help in those spaces. And we needed depth in those spaces as well. I think that both of them added that to us, which helped us put us, I thought, at least a little bit higher than where we finished.
Mate, what's your secret sauce in recruiting? Like, that's the Midas touch, mate. You just got in and just got done exactly what you wanted straight away.
I had a lot of help. Like, I guess anytime you recruit and, you need people in your corner that can, one, you need to know the player and the person, and you got to do your homework. And I had a few people in my corner that could help me understand each player, not just from what they did in their own clubs, but then like recruiting wise. Again, I'm new at this and being in this space. Like, we had Jeff Van Groningen as our basketball GM here in past year, and with him stepping away, it's like, ticking the boxes. How do you go about it? Recruiting wise, when you talk about a fresh face coming into it, like, yes, eyes wide open. I want to spoil, but I also want to have a team that compete. And you need to make sure you have enough on both sides. You need to have a balance with your budget to make it all work. So taking that hat off and take your coach's hat off and put this hat on, and then take that off, and then work with my CEO in Nick Lobato, and then with GK, and letting GK, here's where we're at. Here's my thought process. Here's how they help us. This is some of the things that I see them helping us in straight away. Here's a long-term goal for that. And then here's the pieces that we can add around that can help us really be good. Clearly, you've still got to land the other pieces, but I think that can help fast track what we have. And then their skill sets, as I was saying earlier, like when you think of the 36ers in the past and their prime when they were winning championships, and you had your Brett Mars, and you've got your John Reillys, then you've got Darnell Mee and Kevin Brooks, and when I look at the guys, like, you got a defensive player, you got an offensive player, and together, and their synergy and their chemistry with one another, with their teammates, and how they represented the city of Adelaide, it was amazing. And I thought they tick quite a few boxes in that space, and it was a good start.
Well, let's talk about some of those other pieces that you're alluding to there on this NBL 23 Adelaide team. One guy that we're all fascinated to watch right now and to see step into the season is Craig Randle, because the numbers in the G League were unbelievable. And, he's going to be a really key piece for you guys in terms of ticking the scoreboard over. Firstly, let's start a little bit on his journey. It's pretty remarkable the steps he's taken to get to this point.
Yeah, he's the fight's real. I think from COVID, from school, from finishing up college to not having that chance to touch the floor with COVID happening, you've seen a few players strike gold with the sense of traveling and trying out for different teams and having a chance to play. And for him, it sounded similar with, you don't make this G League team, you travel and try it for another team, you get cut. It's now what? You grind with your brother, spending time in the off season in the gym, keep working on your game, believing in yourself, get an opportunity with Adam Capon and, Brooklyn Nets G League team, and to watch, the guys come in and play, and, people already ahead of you. You're just happy to be there. By the end of the year or middle of the season, he's now there starting PG, and the the keys are in his hand and he's controlling the ship. And he did an amazing job. And with the guys that they had and having an Australian player with Tom Maker on his squad and others, it was, and Adam Capon at the helm, it was, they did what they did.
Last season in that spot alongside Mitch, you had Dusty who we know can shoot. He didn't really get going in the NBL. And part of the thing was like, he seemed like he was a little hesitant to let it go sometimes. And you were like, Dusty, we got you here to shoot that thing. I don't think you're going to have that problem with Craig Randle.
I don't think so either.
No. How do you find that sweet spot with him in terms of shot selection?
Yeah, that's me and him working together and our staff. That's not just me. That's everyone working with him of, here's what's a good shot. There's a time and a place to take those type of shots. We've had players, as you know, John Reilly, Shane Hill. I can go down a list of great NBL players that, there's a time to take over a game. There's a time to let it run through, let the ball move. You're going to get it back a second time. People are going to try and get under your skin. They want to find out what makes you tick, try and put you on an island. Hopefully are you going to stand up? Are you going to take this? Or are you going to go out there and spray it and either you're on or you're off and see if they can get in your head? So there's a lot of those little talks that we've already had. And for where his journey is right now and where we want him to get to help us, but where he is in game or where he also wants to get to, there's a lot of little things in between that we will play a big part of, my staff and the 36ers of helping him on his journey as well as he helping us.
Mate, you talked about John Reilly and Shane Hill there. The name you didn't mention is CJ Bruton. Because I'm telling you, and there are very few better over the course of NBL history of exactly that, knowing when to let that thing move and knowing when it's time to go. It's time to make plays. I can remember, especially later in your career in New Zealand, I can remember going along, living with Tommy Greer, going to the cage, watching New Zealand come in and play the Melbourne Tigers. And it would be midway through the fourth quarter and you'd be maybe down 7. And I would turn to my wife. I said, babe, New Zealand's winning this game. And she's like, what? I said, CJ's ready to go. She look at the thing and you have maybe 4 or 5 points and you've got like 6 or 7 assists. And I'm like, yeah, what? You just wait for it. You just always had that sense of like, when was the right moment?
I think over time, it's one of those things. It's hard as a PG. Like, you need to find that balance. Like, there's a scoring point guards today and they think, I score first and the numbers don't lie. I should be one of the greatest. It's not about that. It's the wins. How many wins did you have? Your teammates feel the same energy when you win, then you got your numbers and you walk away with, I feel a little bit happy. I scored, Paul, and, the scoreboard ticked over a little bit, but, when you lose, it's a different feeling for everybody, for the staff, the fans, everybody. So finding that balance of when to take the right shot, how to keep everyone honest. When you got guys like Kirk Penny and Jason Smith, Ebby Arara and Sam McKinnon, I can go on and on about the guys that I play with. You got to share the sugar and make them all feel just as good. And, you all have your moment. There's a time where it works and a time it doesn't. There's a time where you go too early and I was thinking I'm going to line him up early and then, I'll take a back seat and I'm not lighting him up and he's lighting me up. And at the other end, I'm not running the team and we're already in a hole and scratching your head like, how do I get out of this jam? My bad, fellas. Like, there's only so many my bads the team wants to hear before, can you do it or you can't do it? So harnessing that and being able to learn from your mistakes early and find the temperament of the team and find that pulse is key. And I'd like to think that I'll be able to help him in that space in Randle. And but I think that, his skill set, the shiftiness and his ability to create and make plays, not only for himself, but for his teammates, it will be big for us.
For sure. And I especially feel like he's going to be big. And we'll talk about that in a little bit in the States in a couple of weeks in that regard. But you're talking there about winning and about winning being the important thing. Who only cares about winning is Mitch McCarron. Doesn't care about anything else apart from winning ball games. And then he's trying to find, and he and I chatted about this on this show a little while back about finding the best way he can help to make that happen, being a little bit more aggressive this season. What do you want to see out of Macca this season?
Well, I just want him to be him. I think anytime you recruit someone or someone's here, here's his skill set. This is what he's really good at. Like last year, I tried to push the envelope a little bit with him of, I need you to score the ball more. either try and be Nathan Sobey today. I don't care. Like, like at least I can see as we keep building for the future of what it is I need to put around you. Who do I need to put around you?
Right.
What sort of person that can be the Batman, the Robin, or whatever, the Super Friends, So it's but watching him, the way he, from his time in Melbourne to him playing for Australia, the energy that he and just his leadership, I guess, that shone. And he is who he is. Like, I don't have to ask him to do any more than what he's been doing. I can shorten it, I can sharpen it by telling him certain things which he's really good with, and taking feedback and understanding where he's at, asking questions, and even giving, hey, I like this here, and this is where, being a guard and being able to work with all my coaches, it's like, okay, I'll put the keys in your hand, you've got it, drive it, let's keep us on the road and get us to our destination.
Nice. Hey, watching the games on the weekend, no Robo, so it was a whole lot of burn for Kai Soto, and it was fun to watch, and it's always fun to watch when he's out there. I guess the same question about him as what I asked for Macca. What do you want to see from Kai early doors and then over the course of the season as a whole?
Well, just keeping him healthy. Like, as you know, like last year he came in, and I was telling you that, 15 to 20 minutes, if I can get there, that's a good thing. I think we got him around 15, and I think I told him 15, and we were on that mark. And that was games he didn't play. But if you talk about the course of the season, his momentum, the way that he played, he kept going on that trajectory, which was what we wanted to see. And obviously into the draft, and he's come out of that on the other side. And now it's about staying healthy again. And so when you've had injuries already, like, I get it from the fans, and they want to see him play 25 minutes. I'm not 7'3", and you haven't dealt with what he's had to deal with. And it's just managing his body, making sure that he can compete every day at a high level when he does go. We're in it to win it. So I've put it on him of the professionalism, delivering in this space. For him to want to achieve his goals and dreams, he's going to have to, again, come to the party. It's not all about Kai Soto doing what Kai Soto wants to do. This is about what's best for the team and how you help the team be successful, but you play in the right way and getting your chance to do what, and show the world what Kai Soto really can do, and playing a bigger role. I think he wants that. He said that in the off season. I want you to believe in me, coach. But as you know, for me to believe in him, and you got to show your teammates, you got to show that on the floor every single day. For me to gift you something that you haven't earned throughout the week, and to play you in a game, it's just something that for every player, young player or player that's playing in our competition, and every coach wants to see that every single day that they deliver in that space, so that you can reward them the right way.
Is the work there? Like, I spoke recently about he needs to get stronger, right? And he does that by getting older, for sure, but also by putting in the time and the effort and the work in the weight room on the day-to-day. And even if that means you're sore and you're struggling through it, you're getting that done. And then also I spoke about the need for him to kind of get quicker laterally, those pick and roll coverages, so that you can do different things without him there. Is he putting in that time to get better in those spaces?
Well, we haven't spent a whole lot of time together, So since he's been here, he touched down, he's done his physical. We got on the floor a couple of days. He was off to the Philippines. He comes back, and he's already had an injury, and it's like, we got to manage that. We've got to get through the games in Perth, and so you don't want to overcommit and play him too much. But I need to get a sample size of where you're at. I need you to show me what you're capable of. I had him come off the bench. I had him start, but obviously the game's coming up, and they're going to come quick and fast, as you know. So how much can you retain? What the effort and energy comes out. My staff is bigger, from not just me and Perlman, having full-time staff this year, which is great, from physio to strength and conditioning, to adding another system with Mick Downer, and even having a DP coach in Michael Lake. Like, we're adding to my staff, which means that I have more coaches that can help make sure that we get the work into each individual player, and we're able to compete at a high level.
Nice. Well, you're going to be competing at a very high level in a couple of weeks, because you're going over for those NBA games, which is awesome. I'm so happy that you guys signed on, and you're going to be doing that, and you're going to be having that experience. How are you feeling about that? Phoenix and OKC around the corner.
I'm excited. I'm excited to represent the NBL and the 36ers. Excited to go and see where our team sits when you. I think playing in the Blitz and playing preseason games is always good, and everyone's eyes will be on those games. Where you at? What are you doing? Studying us from afar, and we get to set a tone before we come back after playing a few preseason games in Darwin to come in and play a couple of teams that guys are fighting for jobs, guys are hungry to make their mark, and again, some Australian players that formerly represented the NBL and just show that, hey, we got some young kids in Australia that you guys need to keep an eye on more so than just those guys that are there.
Yeah, the matchups are cool because Jock, also Torrey Craig, as who you worked with in Brisbane, in Phoenix, and then Josh and of course Usman Jiang as well in KC. And I was talking, I alluded to it before with Randle. I feel like having watched, and you were there in 2017 when you guys played Phoenix and down 25 in the first quarter and won the next 3 quarters. You've had that experience. I feel like in those NBL, NBA games, one of the things you got to have is a guy who can create off the bounce and score at a high level late in the shot clock. Because if you, and there's games where, Jerome Randall's had success in that situation, Corey Webster, Casper Ware in that game when they nearly beat OKC. And that's why I feel Craig Randall's going to be big for you in that situation, in those games.
Yeah, definitely. I think his skill set will allow for him to do that and create for others and himself. I think I got more than one piece that can do that, but he is a piece that, again, I felt that this club missed and needed. And you see it on every other club. And those guys that you just mentioned had done it at a very high level in our competition, which makes them stand out like so far above the rest that you're like, wow, we need one of those guys. Well, on sitting on hands and doing the homework and diving deeper, I think we landed one that we're happy with, and he's happy with us, and so far, and we just keep growing together.
Nice. The Perth fans are saying, "Well, Bryce Cotton, what he did against the Denver Nuggets, I forgot him." All right, man. To finish off, there's a lot of expectations around the 36ers coming into this season. You recruit well. Everyone's excited about your second year and what you guys are going to be able to do. But forgetting and all the other external expectations, what are your expectations of your team this season?
Right. I think, like, I can pinpoint, say, championships and all that sort of stuff and where we fit. I want to see growth from every day that we step on the floor, that we're growing in the right direction. Can you bounce back? As you know, you're going to take some licks and you're going to take some knocks, and from the press to how do you bounce back? Do we have the mentality to be able to bounce back? Are we strong enough to be able to take a punch and then give a punch back the very next quarter, next play, next half to next game? Just the consistency. I mean, it's, as you said, for me, it's a word, right? But consistency, seeing it every day, reminding players to not drop their head. And we have good days and bad days. You wake up, you're sore. One day you're feeling great and you miss everything. Next day you're feeling sore and you went through it and you're thinking that it was a bad day, but you helped your team win. And ultimately it comes down to just playing your role, helping your team. And as your role may evolve, some will decrease, some will get a bigger role as the season goes on. But it's understand that we're all doing it to help the Adelaide 36ers become one of the best teams in the league again. Awesome.
Well, congrats on everything you've achieved over the offseason, and good luck with that. Good luck with achieving that growth over the course of the season. And shout out to your media man, Dale Fletcher, because with the sponsor board, that was the best preseason press conference, I think, in a long time. So good to chat to you, man, and all the best for the season ahead.
Likewise, look forward to catching up during the season and at the Blitz, but take care and wish everyone the best.
Cheers, man.
Thanks, man.